It took less than a decade for Milly Alcock to transform from a kid making YouTube videos to a House of the Dragon star, and now that her run on the prequel has ended, the actor is reinventing herself once again. Milly Alcock knew she loved performing from a young age, but it's not something that was actively encouraged in her family home. Alcock grew up in a suburban neighborhood on the inner west side of Sydney with her parents and two brothers, who were all much more interested in sports than the arts. But that just spurred on her passion even more. She later admitted to Vogue Australia, "I think I got my interest in acting because everybody was uninterested in acting." While the rest of her family was focused on rugby, Alcock was soaking up the arts at school. Her first foray into acting was playing the lead in a primary school play, Little Red Rocking Hood, an outside-the-box adaptation of the classic fairy tale. Recalling the moment she officially fell in love with acting, Alcock told the Evening Standard, "I had this euphoric feeling, and I was like, I want that, whatever that is. Yeah, I want to feel like that for the rest of my life." Alcock's love of acting evolved from there, and she continued to find ways to be creative on her own. She showed that she felt very comfortable in front of the camera by posting a series of lively videos on her YouTube channel, Milly May's Movies.
I'm making a video today because I'm bored.
Alcock didn't wind up starring on House of the Dragon by a happy accident. She demonstrated throughout her childhood that she was the kind of person who knew what she wanted and would work hard to get it, often taking her future into her own hands rather than leaving it up to others. Her passion for acting and strong sense of independence led her to make a huge decision at the tender age of 13. Without any input from her parents, she enrolled herself to Sydney's Newtown High School of the Performing Arts, a prestigious institution for aspiring actors. Only after she enrolled did she tell her parents that she had an audition for the school, which she obviously nailed. It was a different world when she arrived at the school though, as Alcock discovered how seriously the other students took their interest in acting. She told Harper's Bazaar Australia, "I arrived and all my classmates already had agents, but she simply took it upon herself to get caught up." She recalled to the outlet, "So I started Googling agencies and calling them saying, 'Hi, can you hire me?' Eventually one did. I think I was literally about 13 at the time." Alcock's decision to go to acting school quickly paid off, as not long after securing an agent, she also landed her first professional acting job. Alcock broke into the Australian TV scene in 2014 with a small part in the romantic comedy drama Wonderland. Nabbing the role in Wonderland officially got the ball rolling on Alcock's professional acting career, but it took a few more years before she secured another TV role. She found it tough to get established in the entertainment industry in Australia, which she described as being a world away from Hollywood. Alcock told the Evening Standard, "The government really does not fund the arts. There's no appreciation of the arts at all. People don't go to the theater really. They can't afford it." After a few difficult years, Alcock's next role came in 2017 when she scored a supporting role in the dramatic miniseries High Life. This role opened more doors for Alcock, who made her feature debut in the horror movie The School before starring in 5 miniseries between 2018 and 2020. The most notable of these was Reckoning, which premiered on Netflix in 2020. Alcock appeared in all 10 episodes of the psychological drama. 2019 was a big year for Alcock. Along with Reckoning, she co-starred on the TV show Upright. Alcock took on the part of troubled teenage runaway Meg Adams. The comedy drama ran for 2 seasons.
Meg is such a huge character, and I feel kind of a responsibility to do a really good job.
Producer Chris Taylor has since revealed that the creative team behind Upright immediately knew Alcock was the perfect choice to play the raucous teen. Alcock received high praise for her role and was even nominated for Best Comedy Performer at the 10th Australian Academy of Cinema and Television Arts Awards. However, the role came with a crucial decision. Since filming would take her away from Sydney to the other side of the country, Alcock had to drop out of performing arts school. But she dove in headfirst and never doubted her decision. She recalled to Vogue, "I knew that this opportunity would be so much more of a valuable experience than getting my piece of paper." Alcock enjoyed a particularly busy acting spell between 2017 and 2020, but found that things slowed down considerably that year following the COVID-19 pandemic. She did have a couple of projects released in 2020, like the short film Furlough, but that was filmed at the end of 2019. So the next year, Alcock found herself back in Sydney, living with her parents. Alcock's Upright co-star Tim Minchin detailed to news.com.au that he was worried about the knock-on effect this could have on her career. He told the outlet, "Milly was on a roll, and then COVID came along and it's been tough for her. She was really just hitting her straps and had her career just completely roadblocked." Thankfully, House of the Dragon fans know this stagnant period of Alcock's career was only temporary, as bigger and more fantastical things were waiting just around the corner for her. But for the time being, the actor found herself living a relatively normal life at home and even washing dishes in a local restaurant to supplement her income while she wasn't acting. Alcock's life started to return to normal in 2021, as she was able to resume going on auditions. One of these was for an unknown HBO show, which would eventually turn out to be the Golden Globe-winning Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. For her audition, Alcock had to film herself and send it off to the producers. She roped in a friend to help with the dialogue of the script she'd been sent. It was from another HBO show, but had the names redacted. Her friend, however, recognized it immediately. Alcock recalled to the Evening Standard, he said, "This is a Game of Thrones scene. This is a scene with Arya Stark."
Obviously, I couldn't tell anyone that I was auditioning for it.
Alcock had never seen Game of Thrones before, so she had no idea what the scene was. But thanks to her friend cluing her in, she had a bit more insight for her interview. Just 2 weeks later, Alcock had signed on to the prequel as a younger version of Rhaenyra Targaryen, ancestor of Emilia Clarke's Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons herself. Prior to starring in House of the Dragon, all of Alcock's acting roles have been filmed in Australia, so the HBO show, which was shot in London, marked a big transition for her. In many ways, House of the Dragon is very similar to its predecessor, since it's set in the same universe, but there are also huge differences between the two shows. So while Alcock did do her homework on all things Game of Thrones, she didn't want her performance to be too influenced by it. Alcock has since explained that the true inspiration behind the creation of Rhaenyra came from Cate Blanchett in the Golden Age and Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday. And instead of the popular Game of Thrones television series, Alcock felt the books were more influential on her performance. Alcock also credits director Miguel Sapochnik and showrunner Ryan Condal with helping to shape her character. She explains to The Hollywood Reporter, "She's quite stoic in the way that she presents herself, and I'm quite a fidgety person, and Ryan and Miguel kept reminding me that there's strength in stillness. She doesn't have to prove herself, she has that status."
Rhaenyra Targaryen, Princess of Dragonstone, and heir to the Iron Throne.
The transformation into Rhaenyra came with a steep learning curve that also involved memorizing copious amounts of High Valyrian and learning how to ride both real horses and a mechanical dragon. When House of the Dragon premiered on HBO in 2022, playing young Rhaenyra Targaryen was arguably the biggest role of Alcock's career to date. And while she found it exciting to step into such an epic world, it also catapulted her into Hollywood in a big way. And life in the spotlight has taken some getting used to. Speaking to Complex about this huge transition, she said, "It was completely life-changing in every aspect. I feel like I changed as an actor and as a person. I changed physically. That physical change included leaving Australia, moving to London permanently." And while Alcock is grateful for the opportunities that the show has afforded her, such as getting cast as Supergirl in James Gunn's DC universe, she's also had to contend with a new level of fame that has left her feeling a little uneasy. She said of adjusting to her newfound status in Hollywood, "It was completely overwhelming, incredibly challenging, and indefinitely rewarding in every aspect, but it was a battle." But Alcock's passion for acting has kept her grounded in the midst of her rising celebrity. She even found some common ground with her character, as she felt that she and Rhaenyra were both traversing uncharted territory together. Alcock reprised the role of young Rhaenyra Targaryen for House of the Dragon Season 2 in 2024. But like the show's fans, she had a lot of downtime between seasons. When she wasn't acting, she found comfort behind the camera, having taken up photography during the pandemic. She enjoys finding the beauty in simple things and sharing it with the world through her unique point of view. Her Instagram page is now littered with her shots, such as the one she titled "The Children of Peri." She explained to Flaunt, "Beauty is completely subjective. Some people might see the photo of the kids in Paris and say, oh, the composition is wrong, it's a bit slanted. I think the beauty is in the mistakes because it's alive." It's clear from the way she talks about the picture that Alcock is more interested in conveying real people and stories in her work than capturing something purely aesthetic. She also enjoys the anonymity of being behind the camera, as Alcock has often said she's tired of seeing her own face and prefers to be out of the spotlight. While she has yet to seek opportunities behind the camera professionally, it's certainly possible fans will see more of Alcock's work, especially if she combines her passions in acting and photography to expand her horizons as a storyteller. Alcock filmed her final scenes for House of the Dragon Season 2 in the spring of 2023, and has since confirmed that she won't return to the Game of Thrones prequel following her final appearance in Episode 4.
It's their story to tell now, and I'm really excited to watch them.
Alcock quickly moved on with another big acting role, but took her career in a different direction, to the theater. In the summer of the same year, she made her West End debut, starring as Abigail Williams in a revival of Arthur Miller's The Crucible. Alcock gushed as she announced her new role on Instagram. "Words cannot describe what a dream come true this is. Making the move to theater is one Alcock had been planning for a while." After finishing the first season of House of the Dragon, Alcock announced her desire to strut her stuff on the stage during her interview with Flaunt. She told the outlet, "I think it would be something that would help me hone my skills as an actor, and I think it would make me feel more legitimized, if that makes sense. To have that experience on stage that happens just once in that moment, and it's such a shared experience with the audience."